Your first alert forecast. We're using the humidity to limit our cooling. We're using the humidity to make us feel hotter by around 9 a.m. on. The key here is we've really been topping out with a heat index around 100. So the threshold for a heat advisory is actually 105 in our area. The National Weather Service went ahead and extended that for your Thursday as well. Feeling like triple digits, using caution a must. Absolutely, 'tis the season. All right, summer months, this is definitely a typical story. So getting into those patterns of finding ways to stay cool and checking on our elderly neighbors and making sure pets are safe and secure and have cold water. Yes, we got to make sure we're in those routines for the rest of this summer. Right now, for the rest of your Thursday, we'll trigger the spotty storms to pop up again. Mix of sun and clouds midday. There's a few clouds passing by, so what they're doing is absorbing that humidity as they flow in. Similar to yesterday, I think we'll start off with a stray midday pop-up. A couple more storms will develop into the afternoon, build up a few more. See it pooling up again, far northeast Tennessee in your evening, kicking around in the mountains. Couple of storms valley to plateau to round out your Thursday. A few storms in the evening hours into the early overnight, then back to fog, back to another warm morning. Literally, it's a rinse repeat. We just don't all get the rinsing that we would love. I was out there having to water plants yesterday, water in my garden. Yeah, most of us stay dry, but the lucky ones get these streaks, these dots even in parts of the valley and plateau of that quarter to a half an inch. So there's definitely some of those pockets of good moderate to heavy rain because it's so humid. There's plenty of moisture for those clouds to work with to pop over into a downpour or thunderstorm. So again, stray midday, spotty afternoon and evening, plenty of heat in between. 74 your starting point, 89 at noon, high today will be 93. You get some isolated cooling, so it could drop back to about 83 by 8 o'clock. And in terms of that midday to afternoon, a couple of storms stirring around can make it feel like the upper 90s to around triple digits. And the first alert feels like forecast where you live. I do think this will teeter-totter between upper 90s and around 100 throughout the south to central valley. I do think that'll leave you more mid to upper 90s at times on the plateau to the Tennessee-Kentucky line. Again, steamy for all. Couple storms developing, and that can provide some spotty cooling, feeling like it's near 100 into far northeast Tennessee. For your Friday, similar case, right? Start off with some fog, then sun and stray rain popping up, then spotty rain and storms in the afternoon, evening hours, a few more storms to round out your Friday, and that's because we're really working off of that peak heating to have a few more late afternoon to evening storms to finish up the week, to finish up your Friday, before we start increasing the rain chances this weekend. So very similar here, adding up that rainfall. Again, you can see a few of those good streaks of heavy rain in parts of our area. I do think each day we're doing a little better, at least in terms of kind of spreading out those isolated storms, but it's really because we're just getting into that routine of steaming with spotty storms. Another hot day. I mean, we're really going from 71 for your Friday morning to 85 at noon. High will be 92. Isolated cooling from a couple of those storms stirring around into your evening hours. Then on Saturday, I want to get you into your weekend because this will be another day with spotty rain and storms. It just wants to get started in the midday hours and then dance around throughout your afternoon. So keep that in mind if you're making weekend plans. You may still want to pick Saturday, though, over Sunday. Sunday's the day that we see a few morning showers and thunderstorms. Looks like right now we could get a lull midday to early afternoon and then some more scattered evening storms. So that's part of that on and off story as the front gets closer for next Tuesday. Yeah, scattered storms Sunday to Monday. Front passage on Tuesday. This at least does help to break this heat wave, get us out of the 90s, get us back into the 80s with some clearing middle of next week in your first alert 8-day planner.